What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Pause or Set Play. Switching up my videos again here today. Instead of making a gaming video, I'm actually going to make a video on how to start your own gaming YouTube channel. I know, back before I started my channel in late 2015, I'd wanted to start a channel for quite some time. Just never really got around to it. It seemed to be a bit daunting to kind of just break into making YouTube videos. Certainly I had watched a lot of different YouTubers, always looking at the latest gaming videos, guides, etc. Just never really got around to making a channel myself until I started Pause or Set Play back in November of 2015. The purpose of this video is to kind of give you an idea of why or how you should start your own channel. This is going to be mainly on how to start a gaming channel, but certainly a lot of these steps here or best practices would fit with any type of YouTube channel that you may want to make. So we'll go through here. I made a short presentation and we'll kind of go through and look at the different steps and hopefully give you an idea of why you should start a channel here in 2017. So again, why would you want to make a channel? Well, I think for me personally, it gets back to, sharing an interest or a hobby. Gaming has been something that I've been doing for pretty much as long as I've been alive. Playing back on Super Nintendo and Genesis and going through PS1, PS2, the whole 9 yards there. So for me, gaming is something that I really enjoy doing. YouTube is just an extension of that. It gives me an opportunity to kind of share that interest with other like-minded people, and I'm sure that also applies to many other interests. You see comedy YouTube channels, you see sports channels. I do watch a number of basketball channels where it's just people playing basketball, and it's something that they enjoy doing. They've been able to make entertaining videos and develop an audience that way. Likewise, movie and TV commentary. The Walking Dead picks back up tomorrow. There's a lot of Walking Dead channels where people are speculating and commenting on the latest episodes. Dragon Ball Super right now is a really big show that there's a lot of YouTubers who are covering, and many of whom I check out their videos regularly. It's something that you can use an interest that you have in something and speak to it, because it's something that you enjoy, and it's worth your time and effort to do it. You can also make a YouTube channel, or why you should make a YouTube channel is to grow your brand. There's a few YouTubers. Roberto Blake is one that immediately comes to mind, where he's helped inspire me through his videos. But by making these videos on YouTube tips, tutorials, he goes into branding, and really it's the YouTube channel has allowed his own brand to grow. And I believe late in 2016 he surpassed 100,000 subscribers. So this is someone who, through time, dedication, and effort, has been able to create a following on YouTube. But the main goal there was to help establish his brand and business. So, YouTube is a great way of doing that, spreading awareness. It's something that you can use a channel and use your videos to speak towards issues, topics, and things that are important to you. Beyond that, too, by making videos, you're going to be refining your own skills. Whether it be video editing. Certainly a lot of these videos take time and effort to enhance and perfect. If you're using programs like Sony Vegas or Final Cut, there's a pretty steep learning curve when it comes to fully maximizing those types of tools. And YouTube videos are one way that you can better yourself in that area. Certainly speaking, when you're making these videos, it does take time and effort as well to better make videos and convey your message. And then beyond that too, marketing. It's important to market your videos. Certainly when you want to have an enhanced reach, you need to explore a variety of different channels with which to get your videos out there. And these are all things that you can improve upon when you're making YouTube videos. So I think the first step, and here it's pretty obvious, the niche here is gaming. but you want to identify a niche. And when I speak to a niche, I'm talking about finding a focused area where you're connecting with like-minded people. You're building an audience because you're targeting your content specifically to people who are looking for that type of content. So in gaming here, I think gaming is a general or a broad niche, and then once you kind of get into that, you really should focus on having a specialty. There's a lot of YouTubers out there in gaming who do Minecraft. One of my friend's nephews really loves to watch Minecraft videos. Obviously, there's a lot of first-person shooter gaming channels out there. Some focus primarily on Call of Duty, others look at games like Destiny. But these are gaming channels, but they focus in on one particular type of game. Then beyond that too, you have YouTubers out there who are doing game guides and walkthroughs. Some of those are really popular as well. So it really kind of goes back to what you enjoy doing, and then kind of going from there and helping establish the types of videos you want to make. I think it's also important to look at, hey, do I want to just make standard videos, or do I want to stream content, whether it be on sites like Twitch or YouTube now has live streaming as well. I think that's something that you want to focus on there. You also want to make sure you don't have typos like I have in this slide. So once you kind of establish your type of video or your niche you want to get into, a gaming channel needs to have a certain type of hardware. Now, there's a good chance that you already have a lot of this. When it comes to having a PC, you want to check the specs on that. The specs I recommended here, you could probably get by with something a bit less intense. But if you have a computer already that has an Intel i5, even better if you have an i7. Certainly that's going to be enough to run the Elgato software. 16 gigabytes of RAM is probably a bit overkill. 8 would be sufficient. And then as far as a graphics card, you want to have a dedicated graphics card. I put a Nvidia GTX 960 or equivalent here. Certainly you can get one of those for a decent price at this point. Some of the newer graphics cards that came out this year obviously would be a bit better suited, especially if you're playing PC games and focusing on having max settings and things of that nature. Again, this kind of goes back to what types of videos you're making. If you're making a Roblox channel, you're not going to need a GTX 1080 to do that, for instance. But you really kind of want to mirror up your types of videos with the hardware you need to kind of maximize the video quality. You also need to have a recording device. So I use an Elgato HD60, and I'll try to link some of these products in the description as well, just so you can kind of get a better look at them. I use the HD60. I know that there's a newer version that came out. By and large, I think the HD60 will suit you just fine. The only downside to it, in my opinion, is it only works with PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, the version prior to that did work with the older consoles. So if you want to do streaming or if you want to make videos for PS3 and systems like that, you'll probably have to get the older version. But if you're focusing on current gen hardware, HD60 will suit you just fine. And you also need to have a microphone. The Blue Snowball mic is what I use. It's a very good entry level mic. I say entry level just because of the price. It's a pretty inexpensive microphone, but you still get pretty solid audio quality from it. If you're looking at starting just from scratch, say you have nothing, you have a 10-year-old laptop that's not going to be able to run these things, and you need to pick up all new hardware, you're going to be looking at initial investment of at least $1,000, depending on what you get. If you're looking at getting top of the line GPU and things of that nature, obviously the price is going to be quite a bit more. I'll go ahead and link in the description either my setup or, for instance, I use a GTX 980 Ti. I wouldn't recommend getting that anymore because you can get a GTX 1070 that has comparable for performance for quite a bit less. But I'll go ahead and link in the description the setup I have, and you can kind of base your decision off that if you want to kind of mimic what I'm using. Once you get the hardware, obviously the next next step is actually making the videos, and that's why you're starting a channel, to make videos. So you know, the video length, I think it also depends on your niche. You know, a lot of this kind of goes back to your niche. You know, what types of videos are you making? You know, if you're making a gaming guide video, or where you're going through an actual game from start to finish, obviously your videos are going to be quite a bit longer. You know, if you're making just tips and tricks on how to do a certain task, or you know, if you're just looking to explore certain areas of a game, you know, your videos are going to be quite a bit shorter. You know, I think most people say you should look at having a video anywhere from 3 or 4 minutes. You know, if it gets a bit longer than that, like this video is going to be, people might lose interest. But again, I think it all depends on what the nature of that video is. Any video should have a clear purpose, give people a reason to watch, and be easily explained in 10 seconds. You know, the purpose of this channel, or this video, is to talk about making a YouTube channel and what some best practices are. You also probably want to edit the video. You know, it's rare that you just kind of go from start to finish, one cut, nothing happens in between. The Elgato software itself can make some basic edits like that. You can cut out the beginning, you can cut out pieces in between. But if you want to do some more complex editing, you know, doing voiceovers, things of that nature, then you probably want to look into eventually getting a program like Sony Vegas or Final Cut. These are expensive video editing software. I mean, these are professional programs you're dealing with here. I know for Sony Vegas, at least, you can do a free trial, you know, to kind of give an idea, hey, will this work for me? You know, certainly look into that. But as far as just doing basic editing, you know, the Elgato can handle some of that, and at least give you a taste of what to expect when you're actually processing and making the video itself. Again, you want to speak clearly. You want to be decisive. Be as confident as you can. You know, I think that should be doable, considering that you're making things that you know very well and that you enjoy. I think that helps convey the right kind of mindset and attitude. And you also want to be making sure that you're having fun. You know, the reason that you're making these videos is because you enjoy the game you're playing. You know, and always keeping that in the back of your mind that, hey, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. It's not something I'm being forced to do. This is something that I like to do, and I think that goes a long way towards making an entertaining video. Video refinement. All right, so once you make the video, you know, you go to YouTube, you start uploading it. That's when you have to kind of come up with the video title, the description, the relevant tags. You know, you can make a custom thumbnail. These are all ways that you can kind of enhance your video and make it more visually attractive, make it more apt to come up high in the search results and be found by users. So, you know, you want to make sure that you have a title that is very clear and descriptive of what the video is about. You know, certainly if you're just starting out, you're looking at getting as many eyeballs on your video as you can to get to spread awareness, and having an appropriate and relevant video title will do that. Likewise, you want to make sure that in the description you are being as descriptive as you can. I believe you can put 5,000 words in the description, so make sure that you're using that to explain what your video is about, kind of going into the specifics of the video. You can also, you know, put links to your other social media handles. You can use that to do some affiliate marketing as well if you'd like. So there's ways that you can really maximize the usefulness of your description. Likewise, you want to make sure that you're using relevant tags as well. So these are phrases or terms that you're tagging your video to be associated with. I think it's also a good practice to always use your YouTube channel name as one of the tags as well. A thumbnail is really important as well. You know, I use a free program called Paint.net. You know, it's a free program, easy to use. You know, you can make thumbnails that are visually enticing. You know, a good thumbnail really goes a long way towards getting people to kind of be interested in seeing what your video is about. You know, to be honest, that's something that I still need to get better at. There's some YouTubers that are really good at making cool thumbnails. You know, you see a lot of guys who they make videos where they kind of Photoshop their own face onto the thumbnail itself, with a funny expression, and kind of gets you wondering what it's about. Of course, there's also people who use clickbait thumbnails. I don't think I have to go into too much detail about that. I'm sure you've seen those. Paint.net, again, it's a cool program. I have it open right here. In this case, for this video, I'm just going to be using a image of one of the slides itself. But you can also kind of really go into cool details, putting different fonts, things of that nature on there. So if we go back to the video refinement, you also want to make sure that you are using a custom logo or banner. I have the Pause or Set Play logo right there. That's not something I made. I'm not too good with things that are artistic like that. But you can use a website like Fiverr. That's a very cheap and inexpensive way of making a decent logo or banner. And then later on, if you want, you can always pay for a more professional creation if you want. But in my experience, I think you're going to get pretty solid stuff from Fiverr. Last but not least, if you want to monetize your videos, this is when you're uploading it. You can choose, hey, do I want to monetize this or not? Really, I think it depends on what you're getting into it for. If you are looking to make some extra money, obviously you can monetize your videos with ad placements, and these are the videos or ads that either play before the video. Oftentimes you can hit that little skip button. I think that's actually one of the settings you can choose when you monetize, or you can have the small banner ads that overlay over the video itself. I'm sure you've seen those more often than not. You either click X to get out of them, or if it's something relevant, you want to see what it's about. So monetization, it's not for every channel, but certainly you can do that when you are uploading your video. Marketing. So I think another important thing here of starting your channel is utilizing all the various websites, forums, places that you can share your videos. So certainly social media sites like Twitter and Facebook are good starting points. You can always share your videos amongst your own friends on Facebook. You can also create a Facebook page for your channel as well, and share your videos there and help grow your audience. In my opinion, I've had more success with Twitter than Facebook. I'm not sure if that's because my audience is on Twitter more than they're on Facebook, but in my experience, that's where I'm getting more of my traffic from. But certainly I think having both is worthwhile. Instagram is another cool way of helping build an audience and sharing your brand. It's obviously it's difficult to share videos there. They're limited to very small clips or just still images. But nonetheless, though, it's still a nice way to build an audience there and then help spread awareness about your YouTube channel indirectly with a service like Instagram. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and when you're making your video and coming up with the keywords and the video title, search phrases, and tags, these are all ways that you are getting your channel and your videos to appear more likely and higher up in search results. It's a pretty in-depth science, really. How you get your videos to appear higher there. You can go back to PageRank, things of that nature. But as long as you're doing your due diligence and trying to refine your keywords, being descriptive, I think that's going to go a long way towards getting your videos to appear higher in the search results. Forums. I think it's another good way to share your videos is on gaming forums. Now it's important to make sure that you are sharing videos where it's relevant to the discussion. You want to make sure that if you're sharing a video there, it's providing value. Maybe you're showing where to find a certain item, or how to achieve a certain objective. That I think is valuable. If you're sharing it just for the sake of spamming, then I think that's going to have a counterproductive impact on your videos. So you want to avoid spamming. Don't sub for sub. Any of that nonsense. It's only going to hurt your channel in the long run. So we've gotten pretty much towards the end here. Other tips and considerations. Number one, grow your channel the right way. This kind of speaks back to what I just said. don't do any of the sub for sub crap. It's a nonsense way of growing your channel. You know, even if you're increasing your subs that way, you're not getting people who are interested in your videos. They're not watching them. They're not watching them through their entirety. It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of their time. You want to make sure that you always keep in mind why you started your channel. You know, so for me, it's, hey, I like gaming. These are games I love playing. It's fun playing with my friends. But also, if I can connect with other people, it's a really cool way of kind of expanding that interest of mine. You know, it's great when I get a comment on one of my videos. Someone says, "Hey, this was helpful," or "Hey, I didn't know that. You know, I'm glad you shared it." It makes you feel like you're creating something that is worthwhile and people enjoy and get use out of. I think it's also important to set realistic expectations. I mean, you know, it's very rare that you see a channel start 1 year and in 6 months they have 1 million subscribers. I mean, it happens, but it's very, very infrequent. You know, myself here, you know, my goal was to have, by the end of this year, have 1,000 subscribers. I think that's certainly doable. I'm trending in that direction. You know, but if I had said, hey, I want to be at, you know, 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, you know, even if I had gotten to 5,000, you know, it would be a very it would hurt to not reach that goal, you know. So, hey, having realistic goals is a way that you maintain your interest, maintain your enthusiasm, and I think it keeps you grounded to a certain degree. And you want to connect with your audience, you know, especially when you have a smaller channel. You know, I can reply to nearly every comment that comes in. I have the YouTube app or the YouTube Creator app on my phone, so I get notifications when people comment. And you want to make sure that you are interacting with your audience here, because A, you have the time. You know, B, you're not getting that many comments anyway. You know, when I get a comment, it's exciting for me because, hey, people are watching my videos. But also, too, it's just nice to help grow your own following that way by being interactive. So, you know, I think these are all things that are important. You know, 2017, if you're looking at starting a YouTube channel and you've been reluctant to do so, you know, my advice, my encouragement would be to, hey, take the plunge. You know, the hardest thing to do is starting, making that first video, and kind of going from there. You never know what's going to happen. You know, my advice is to, you know, do the best you can, and whatever happens, happens, and enjoy it along the way. I mean, this is something that I've been doing since the end of 2015. I'm still enjoying making videos, and don't see that ending anytime soon. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, you know, please hit me up with a like or a subscription. That would be tremendous. But most importantly, I hope that this helps assuage any doubts that you have about making a channel. I hope this helps you, if you do start a channel, kind of look at the right ways of going about doing it, and drop me a comment if there's anything else you want to see. I'd be happy to make that. So thanks for watching, and best of luck in 2017 if you start your channel.